Hello, and welcome to our new series of weekly short subject videos. We're doing a subject each week, so we'll have videos coming out on a regular basis for at least the short term on different subjects related to Make It Personal, Tukios, and other things. This one will basically be the intro to that series. We're going to do a short overview of things in Make It Personal, both getting started and navigating to various parts that you would be interested in. On the screen, I am on Make It Personal version 2. So this is of course, a web-based program. So it's not an install. It's actually a website where that program resides, and you can interact with it from any PC. We do have some planned subjects, but if you have ideas and subjects you'd like covered, please let Matt Stallings know, and we can try to work those into future videos. So the first step for getting a customer signed up with Make It Personal would be to contact customer service or have them contact. They'll set them up with a login and password and the link to get to Make It Personal. In addition to setting them up, customer service can also provide them with a sampler packet for printing and also blank pages or what's called border pages appropriate to what they've ordered. So the blank pages would be required to print from for Make It Personal, as the filler pages that normally come in the register book have lines and so forth on them that's not appropriate to print from the program. Once they're set up with a MIP account, including a login and a password, they would want to go to the website mipv2.messengerstationery.com. Just a reminder, the word stationery is an ERY. They can go there, log in, and they can go to the menu button and then location info and settings. That way they can confirm that the first two fields here are filled in. So it's the funeral home name and the location name. So these can be the same thing. So for example, if this was Smith Funeral Home, they could have that in both places, or the second one could be a specific branch. So Smith Funeral Home West, or Robert Smith South, or something like that. Something so they're both filled in, whatever is appropriate to them. It's optional to fill in the rest, but they can do so. They can also upload a logo or a picture, and then once they have that filled in, they want to hit Save Location here at the bottom. Going back to the top, they can hit the logo to get back to the main screen. While they're in Location Info and Settings, they can also go into the Users. That's where they can add a new user. They can also update their password or email address if they want to. Password needs to be at least 8 characters and at least one special character. If they need to add new users and these are not empty, they can go to another tab and then back to make that empty and fill in the new user and then add user. So I'm going to go back to the main screen again. So at this point, they have a MIP account, they have a login and password, they've confirmed that their location's been added to Make It Personal. So the next step to designing would be to have a case. So the easiest way to do that is Menu, and then Manage Case Info. So here you can see a list of cases. This limits it to the last 2 weeks. If you want to remove the limit, you can take off the time filter. If you'd like to add a new case, so this is one of the 2 ways you can do that. The other way is through Fast Track. So if I click on Add New Case, that gets me the case information. And the minimum for adding a new case is going to be first name, last name, date of birth, date of death, and then since the location is added, that location should be available from the drop-down. Now, as you can see here, they can add more than one location, so they can actually work on different locations in Make It Personal from the same Make It Personal account. Or they can have separate Make It Personal accounts for each location. So once they've added all those things, they can hit Save Case at the bottom. If there is something missing, the program will tell them. So in this case, all 5 of those things that I mentioned are not there. And also no date is also not a valid date format. So it's just telling you those extra things. When they enter the date, they can do that manually, adding the slashes, or they can use the little tool here for adding dates. So I'm going to go into an existing case for the next step. So I'm going to go Menu, Manage Case Info. On the row here, I can either hit Edit or I can double click on the row. So the other thing you most commonly will run into is going to be case images. In order to add case images, you hit Upload and then navigate to wherever the images are saved on the hard drive. From here, I can go into Case Designs to start a new design, or I can go into existing designs if I've already made some. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new design. In this drop-down, you have the option of Fast Track or Advanced Designer. Since I'm going to show you Fast Track from Fast Track, I'm just going to go Advanced Designer to give you a brief glimpse at that. So Advanced Designer. And then in either view, both Fast Track or Advanced Designer, the flow is the same. It's going to be Product, Series, Size, Template. And as you choose something, the next thing will populate. So for example, I'm going to go into Service folder. Once that is picked, I can have the choice of series. So I'm just going to do on Freedom's Wing. Once I choose a series, it's going to show me the available sizes for that. So these are the different template sizes. I'm going to go ahead and choose, I would guess, the most common one, which is the 2UP CSF. CSF meaning copy size folder or copy machine size folder. So that's a letter size perforated in half. So there's 2 per sheet. And then in the template itself, I'll have my choice of templates. So I'll have the regular bearers and no bearers version. And then this is showing that there's a couple custom templates that this particular account has access to. So I'm going to choose one with bearers, even though we haven't put bearers in this video. This case does have bearers. So I'm just going to do a basic overview of the different sections here. So on the right side, you're going to see some panel navigation. So for a service folder, it's just the 2 panels. If you're in a register book or a photo book, there's going to be more panels than would fit in this space. And so these bars at the top or the bottom get you to the next set. So this is a panel navigation that would normally be on the bottom in Fast Track. On the left side, you can think of that as 3 different toolbars stacked on top of each other. So the default is the Tools toolbar, which has 5 different buttons here. And then at the bottom, the Save and Print. Next one here at the top is Add Case Info. This is basically another view of what you see in the Manage Case Info. So it's got Basic, Advanced, and Case Images. If I hit Back to Designer, it gets me back to the Tools. If I go into Add Item, then you see the different options for blank items, like text box, heading, field label, blank line. And then you see the additional things like design elements, which would be like clip art and so forth, and text items, which would be text like prayers, verses, poems, things like that. I hit Back to Designer again. And just to be clear, Back to Designer is different than Back to Fast Track or Back to Case Profile. Back to Designer, you're still within the designer. Now, if I wanted to go back to the case, I could click right here. If I want to go to Fast Track, which I'll go ahead and do, I can click this. This takes me to the Fast Track view. One of the limitations of Fast Track is you're only manipulating things that already exist on the design, whereas in Advanced Designer, you can add things. In this view, we're going to go directly through Fast Track. So just as we added the case in Manage Case Info, we also have the same requirements here: first name, last name, date of birth, date of death, and location. So, that's one way you can start the case as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go fill from past case. I want to go into the case I was just in. So once you start typing, it automatically does a search. So I'm going to go ahead and click read, select product. So this is going to be the same flow through. The difference here is that this is a case that has a massive amount of saved designs, which does not take up any room in your computer. That's stored on our server. So if I go into service folder again, so that's product. So it's going to be the same flow. So product, series, size, template. In this case, I'm going to choose a deluxe service folder, which in this case, that's a single folder that takes up the entirety of a letter size piece of paper. And then there's just the one template. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. That's fine. And hit create. So I'm going to go ahead and fix my obit here. Looks like the lettering's a bit small. Let's see if I can get that to be good. Okay, and I can also click into that. There we go. Just going to fix that real quick. See how panel 2 looks. Okay, and then that's how quick it was. So the layout's already set. Everything looks pretty good there. I can go ahead and hit save case and print design. That gets me to the generate page, which is the last step here in the steps. If I only want to print one of these panels, I can deselect or reselect. Either way, once I hit generate, that's going to create a PDF that should come up by itself in Adobe. That's the preferred PDF viewer. If the PDF does not come up in Adobe by itself in its own window, there are browser settings to make that happen. That should be available in another video short we have available. So if you have any questions or have something you need help with or assistance, please let us know. You can email us at mipsupport@messengerllc.com or call us 800-827-5151, extension 5 for support. We also have additional information on our help page. So that's going to be menu and then help. So that also has our contact information, some other links, and some helpful documents. And that won't take you out of whatever screen you're in Make It Personal. It'll open a new tab where you're free to look at the contents.